Namaste. Thank you so much for dropping by this video. So one of Neo-Advaita's catchphrases is direct pointing to the truth, which really, it sounds cool. It sounds way cool. And when done properly, it's beyond way cool. It's utterly liberating. When done improperly, it creates a mess. So let's give an example of, well, first of all, what does direct pointing mean? Okay, direct pointing in the tradition of Vedanta means when a teacher says to a student something along the lines of, you are not the body, you're not your thoughts, you're not your feelings. You're that which is before all those things. You're that which is the pure witness of those things, untouched. Something like that. That's an example of direct pointing, where a teacher just very directly points a student to the truth, hence the phrase direct pointing. So, a pristine example of that is Ramana Maharshi. With some people, Ramana Maharshi would talk about mantras, talk about devotion, talk about the reason the universe exists, talk about the fact that from Advaita Vedanta point of view, the universe actually doesn't exist, it's an illusion. He would carry on very intricate dialogues. He'd talk about scriptures with some people. With some people he would just straight up talk about business, family affairs. And with some people, they would ask him a question, why does, when the Bhagavad Gita says that, what does that mean? And Ramana Maharshi would just sit in silence. He wouldn't even respond. And sometimes the person would ask again. And Ramana Maharshi would say something like, who is it that wants to know? Who is it that's curious? And then sometimes, if the person kept asking, sometimes the silence, the question was answered on a much deeper level. Sometimes the simple inquiry that Ramana invited the person to, who is it that wants to know, would point that person towards something. And then if the person kept on talking, then Ramana might say something like, might directly point in the way that we think of, that you see so often in Neo-Advaita satsangs, saying, you are the consciousness that's beyond all questions. That's an example of direct pointing. What's important to notice is that Ramana Maharshi didn't do it with everybody. He only did it with certain people. This is the essence. This is what separates the boys from the men. Ladies and gentlemen, the boys and girls from the men and women. This is what separates Neo-Advaita from Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta only focuses on something such as direct pointing, only focuses on the aspect of self-inquiry and knowing the self only for the ripe individual. Neo-Advaita, on the other hand, preaches it to everyone. To everyone, you are the self. You are conscious. The process of direct pointing. And again, very specifically, a true Advaita Vedanta guru will only prescribe self-inquiry, only do direct pointing towards individuals who are ripe. That's what else differentiates the boys and girls, Neo-Advaita, from Advaita Vedanta, the men and women. Inquire or don't inquire, because you already are that. That's all that goes on over and over and over and over for every single individual that asks and to every group. That's all that it is. Whereas Advaita Vedanta is a whole process of awakening. And this one little piece that Neo-Advaita has stolen and is trying to monopolize is only given to those beings that are ripe and ready. So, hope that clarifies what direct pointing is and what it isn't. Direct pointing is only for individuals. It is not for groups of people. Any teacher who, just kind of, everyone, self-inquiry, you are that, who wants to know, like if that's all they're doing, they're not an Advaita Vedanta teacher. They're a Neo-Advaita teacher, which is like, well, that's what this whole channel is about, actually, is the difference. And so Advaita Vedanta has thousands. Well, Vedanta, Advaita is just one school of Vedanta. Vedanta has thousands of years of history. Neo-Advaita has been around for like 50 or 60 years. It's a fad. Make no mistake about it. It's fast food spirituality. And it's very profitable for those who are doing it, because, as Ramana Maharshi so eloquently pointed out, for those who do not have one-pointedness of mind, attempting to do self-inquiry and direct, let me pause that quote, direct pointings to the truth are a form of self-inquiry. So again, the quote from Ramana, for those who have not obtained one-pointedness of mind, trying to do self-inquiry is like trying to put out a fire with a wet noodle. So basically, the Neo-Advaita movement is a bunch of people who are getting people to pay them money and lots of times receive worship. And then the person who's receiving the money and the worship, the Neo-Advaita teacher, is basically giving them bad advice, like really bad advice. I've watched people in the Neo-Advaita movement for 15 years make no spiritual progress, but get high off the Shaktipat of the teacher and get high off the teaching, and then walk out of the satsang, and then it ends. And then they come back confused, and the teacher keeps giving them the bad advice. They keep giving the teacher money, and they keep worshiping the teacher. It's a nasty scam. And I'm very grateful to have found my way out of it and found my way towards a true teacher. I wish you all the best. Namaste. And the good news. So most people watching this video are Westerners, and I was a Westerner. That's funny. I'm recovering from Western civilization. But there is some good news. In the West, we have this crazy idea of eternal hell, right? Like you achieve the truth or you end up in eternal hell. The main branches of Christianity have been spreading that one almost from the very beginning. Obviously, it has nothing to do with what Christ taught, but that's another video, probably another channel. But in the East, it's considered inevitable that everyone and everything will achieve liberation. So, if you found yourself caught in the Neo-Advaita scam, first of all, get out of there as quickly as you can. And second of all, our salvation is inevitable. Our liberation is inevitable. And just Neo-Advaita slows it down a lot. And once you see through the Neo-Advaita basically scam, it's not like that effort, time, and energy is wasted. It's like once you find your way through the scam, then you learn about Vedanta, the entire system of Vedanta, and you start practicing karma yoga properly and bhakti yoga, and then the jnana yoga you've done, it's like you've already got that credit stored up, and it comes quite easily. And it's quite easy to fire up devotion towards God and towards truth once you've had the truth, once you've had a taste of it. And that's what Neo-Advaita really offers, is a taste. The thing is, if Neo-Advaita was honest, they'd say, hey, we're going to give you a taste of truth. We're going to give you a taste of liberation. But Neo-Advaita is fundamentally dishonest. And I think most of them don't realize. I think most of them are caught in their own delusion. So thank you so much.